Hello students, welcome to online course of Mechanical Measurement and Metrology. Myself Abhishek Trivedi from Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. We are discussing force, torque, pressure, strain and temperature measurement as well as the instruments and the technique useful for the same. Till today we have discussed force, torque, pressure and strain measuring instruments as well as the core concept of all these parameters. In the previous lecture we have covered the temperature measuring instrument which is widely useful in the mechanical industries, the instrument known as a thermocouple. Thermocouple consists the two different metal wires joined at the two different junctions having the two different temperature zones, and if all these conditions fulfill then it will generate the thermoelectric effect, and if the thermoelectric effect has been generated then we can say that it will measure the temperature of the single reference zone. Suppose we have the two different junctions, then if I know the temperature of single junction, I know the change of the voltage or we can say change of the EMF, and if the change of the EMF can be calibrated in terms of difference of the temperature, then we can measure the temperature of the another junction which is unknown temperature junction. So this is the concept of the thermocouple. In the particular temperature measuring instruments, we have covered the concept of the temperature, then we have covered the temperature scales, then we have discussed the bimetallic solid expansion thermometer and liquid in glass thermometer, and in the previous lecture we have covered the thermocouple. Today we are going to discuss the two different topics. The first one, that is the resistance temperature detector and pyrometer. Probably today we are going to wind up our chapter. So let us start with the concept of RTD, we can say resistance temperature detector. The topic named as resistance temperature detector. As we already discussed that the temperature is a parameter, or we can say temperature is the quantity which cannot be measured directly. We have no any instrument which can measure the temperature directly. So what we are supposed to do, we are simply measuring the resistance, or we can say we are simply calculating the resistance, or we can say we are simply measuring the change of resistance, and according to the change of resistance we are going to calculate the change of the temperature. So the instrument which is based on the measurement of the resistance, and then we are going to find, or then we are going to calculate the temperature, the instrument known as a RTD, resistance temperature detector. We already discussed that the thermocouple is useful for the range of, let's say, minus 270 degree to 2800 degree Celsius. But if we have to measure the temperature, let's say minus 280 degree up to 600 degree Celsius, then we are preferring RTD, resistance temperature detector, because it is very much reliable for the measurement of such short range. Though thermocouple is based for the measurement of the wide range, but if we have to measure the temperature up to 600 degree Celsius, then RTD is a more reliable instrument than the thermocouple. So we are preferring RTD as a very basic instrument for the measurement of the temperature, because it is totally based on the resistance. We are using the equation, let's say R is equal to R0 1 plus alpha T plus beta of T square, where R0, that is the resistance at the temperature of 0 degree Celsius, alpha and beta are the materialistic constant, whatever the material we are using for generation of the Western bridge circuit, it is stands for the materialistic constant, and T and T square stands for the temperature. So if I know the value of R, I can find the value of temperature, and vice versa, if I know the value of temperature, I can find the value of R. This particular equation is totally based on the analytical approach, so it is very much reliable for the measurement of the temperature up to certain range, we can say up to 500-600 degrees Celsius. RTD is very much reliable as well as it is very much precise for the measurement of the temperature. Minor change in the temperature will directly affect on the resistance of the given material, and if the resistance of the given material will be changed, we can calculate the change of temperature. So RTD is a much more reliable as compared to thermocouple up to certain range. The figure shows the structure, or we can say structural details of the RTD. First of all, let us understand this particular figure. As I have told you, RTD, resistance temperature detector. So what we have aim, we are going to aim for change in the resistance. First of all, we are going to find the though there is any change in the resistance or not. If there is change in the resistance, then and then we are going to calibrate the change of resistance in terms of temperature. Other than that, the temperature will not come in the picture. To find the change in the resistance, the very best circuit, that is the Wheatstone bridge circuit, because this is the only circuit which can find the change in the resistance within some fraction of time, as well as it is very much precise for the measurement of the resistance. Suppose we have balanced Wheatstone bridge circuit, so I can say that R1 by R3 is equal to R2 by R4. If the circuit is totally balanced, then we can use such kind of equations. If I know the value of R1, R3 and R2, then I can find the value of R4 if the circuit is totally balanced. So what we are supposed to do, we are going to balance the circuit by making the R4 as a balanced condition, and if the circuit will be balanced, we can find the value of R4. Let's say R4 is equal to R2 R3 divided by R1. So if the circuit is going to be balanced, then we can find the value of R4, and from the value of R4, if we are using the same equation, R4 is equal to R0 1 plus alpha t plus beta t square. So by using this equation, we can measure the value of resistance temperature detector. So this is the basic concept of measurement of the temperature by using the resistance change. Now what the circuit shows, the circuit shows this is the R1, first resistance, we know the value of R1, R2, second resistance, we know the value of it, then R3. Then the lead wires has been extended for the fourth resistance, the resistance R4. The junction has been made over here. So I can say that the resistance R4 stands for the resistance of this particular setup. Then the voltmeter has been generated, we can say galvanometer has been generated to check the balance condition of the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Over here the housing has been provided, the glass housing has been given. Inside the glass housing, the sensing element has been provided which can sense the change of the temperature. If the change of the temperature has been sensed, then it will directly change the resistance due to its materialistic characteristics, and if the resistance change of the given material, then it will directly affect the Wheatstone bridge circuit. The Wheatstone bridge circuit will not going to be balanced. Then what we are supposed to do, we are using the rheostat, and by using the rheostat we can vary the resistance values of the R1, R2 and R3, and by changing the value of R1, R2 and R3 by using the variable resistance, or we can say rheostat, we are supposed to balance the Wheatstone bridge circuit. And once the Wheatstone bridge circuit has been balanced, we are going to find the value of R4. What is the value of resistance 4 which is available in this particular setup, and by finding the value of R4, we are supposed to check the value of temperature which is available at the sensing point. So this is the flow of methodology. Then here we have the RTD element leads. The leads means the connector, or we can say the wires which transfer the change of the resistance, or we can say which transfer the sensing data to the main circuit. The connection of the lead wires will maintain in the lead wire insulations. Just because of this, the change in the resistance, or we can say the change in the minor change in the temperature will not be affected by the environmental conditions. So we are providing some sort of the insulation. Also we are providing the sheet over here, we can say the glass tube is provided over here to maintain the some sort of the insulation over the circuit. So once there is change in the temperature, the sensing element will sense the temperature change, and due to the change in the temperature, the resistance of the given wire will be changed, and due to the change in the resistance of the given wire, the total Wheatstone bridge circuit will going to be unbalanced. And once the circuit will be unbalanced, we are going to balance the circuit by manually, and once the circuit will getting balanced again, then we are finding the value of R4. And once we are finding the value of R4, we can find the value of temperature which is unknown temperature at the outer source, and then we can calculate the temperature of the given physical system. So this is the basic concept of the resistance temperature detector. The figure shows the schematic view of the industrial RTD, industrial resistance temperature detector, which shows that we have the RTD lead wires, the element, the connector lead wires, then the whole setup has been provided inside the single setup, and then we can measure the temperature of the unknown physical system. So this is the basic case of the RTD, we can say resistance temperature detector. I hope you are properly cleared about the RTD, resistance temperature detector. Now let us discuss the last topic of the chapter, that is the pyrometer. Pyrometer. Let us understand the first of all pyrometer. before understanding the pyrometer, let us understand the concept pyrometry. What is pyrometry? Pyrometry is a branch of measuring the temperature, having the value of temperature up to above the certain range. We can say that if we are going to define the 500 degree as a range, then if we are going to measure the temperature above 500 degrees Celsius, then and then the case is known as a, or we can say the branch of measuring such temperature is known as a pyrometry, and the instrument which are useful for measuring such temperature is known as a pyrometer. So this is the case of pyrometer and pyrometry. Now let us understand that up to 500 degrees Celsius, from let's say 0 degree, if we are discussing from the 0 degree Celsius, then I can say that from the 0 degree to 500 degrees Celsius, the radiation has been emitted by the system, but it will not generate any kind of effect because of the presence of atmosphere, because of presence of the environment available outside the system. But if the temperature above 500 degrees Celsius, though there is presence of atmosphere, but the radiation will affect over the system because it will become the dominating parameter for the heat transfer. So if the heat transfer will be dominated by the radiation, then we can say that the change of temperature, or we can say the value of the temperature, is directly depends over the radiation, effect of the radiation, intensity of the radiation, color of the radiation waves, the monochromatic light waves of the given radiation, the monochromatic wavelength of the given radiation. So all these parameters will directly affect if the temperature is above certain range. And for this case we are using the pyrometer, or we can say pyrometry. When the temperature which is being measured are very high and the physical contact with the process or the body is not possible, then in such situations the non-contact type instruments are preferable. The technique for measuring the high temperature without making any kind of physical contact with the hot body, then the technique is known as a pyrometry, as we have discussed. The pyrometers works on the principle of radiation heat transfer. As I have told you that we have the three different ways of the heat transfer. The heat transfer has been defined in the three different ways. The first one, that is the conduction, the second one, that is the convection, and the third one, that is the radiation. And if the radiation become dominating, then the instrument used for measuring such radiation for the measurement of the temperature, the instrument is known as a pyrometers. It is the transfer of the energy between the two bodies by means of the electromagnetic waves, which is caused solely by the temperature difference between the given two bodies. So this is the case of pyrometers and how the pyrometer works. In our syllabus we have to discuss only one pyrometer, that is optical pyrometer. The figure shows the basic constructional details of the optical pyrometer. Let us understand first of all the constructional details of the optical pyrometer, and then we are going for the working of the same. Suppose this is the heat source. Let's say, for example, we have maintained the temperature, let's say 1400 degree Celsius for the heat source. So obviously this is above the range of basic size, or we can say basic range of the pyrometer case. Then I can say that some sort of the radiation has been generated. So these are the radiation waves. We can say the monochromatic light wave, electromagnetic waves has been generated. The very first case, this is the objective lens. The basic concept of the objective lens is, if the divergent rays are coming from the lens, then it will generate the parallel rays of the same range. So whatever the rays will become, the rays will be made parallel by using the objective lens case. Then the absorption screen has been provided, which will absorb the intensity of the radiation, which will absorb the unknown, or we can say the unrequired light wave, the unrequired electromagnetic wavelength will be absorbed to the absorption screen to safeguard the human access, to safeguard the eyes of the human. Then the filter has been provided. The filter is useful for filtering some sort of the wavelength which is not accessible, or we can say which is not useful for the human eyes. So we are going to filter those particular wavelengths, and at the end the eyepiece has been provided, and from the eyepiece we have placed a screen, and on the screen we are supposed to measure the range of the temperature. In between this we have provided a one filament. The filament is connected with the basic circuit having the battery and the rheostat. Rheostat means it is the variable resistance. We can vary the resistance and the basic meter for measurement of the different parameters. Let's say voltage or EMF measuring meter has been provided. Now what is the case? In this particular optical pyrometer, what we are supposed to do, we are simply comparing the intensity, or we can say we are simply comparing the luminance of the given heat source with the filament. Suppose this is the case of eyepiece. Suppose this is the filament. Case number 1. Over here, suppose we are going to discuss reading number 2, and here we are going to discuss the reading number 3. If we are checking from the eyepiece side, then I can say that I will check such kind of image. If we are looking from the eyepiece from here, if we are looking from the eyepiece, then what I can see the basic filament and the heat source, which is back end side of the filament. So I can say that this particular round shape shows the heat source, and ahead of the heat source we have provided a filament. In the same case, the case number 1, case number 2 and the case number 3, in all the cases the same case has been discussed. On the back end side there is a heat source, and on the front end side we have the filament. Suppose in the first case the rheostat has been started, we are supposed to decrease the resistance. So we can say that if the resistance has been decreased, then maximum power source has been provided to the filament. The filament will start illuminating, the filament will start brightening. The temperature, or we can say the heat source, has been maintained at the 1400 degrees Celsius, the unknown temperature. So I can say that whatever the radiation generated, the radiation has its own fixed intensity of the light. Suppose we are providing the temperature, or we can say we are providing such amount of the voltage, then in the case number 1 the temperature has been maintained at, let's say, 1800 degree Celsius. So from these two temperature I can say that the filament will looks brighter than the back end. So I can say that the back end side of the particular resistance, or we can say the back end side of the particular heat source, will looks darker than the filament. So this is the case where the back end side looks darker and the filament look brighter. We can say the white structure of the filament, it shows the brighter filament. Now this is not the case for the comparison. So what we are supposed to do, if I'll find such kind of reading, I'll find the reading of the case 1, then I'm come to know that the filament having the temperature higher than the required heat source. Then what we are supposed to do, we are increasing the resistance and we are trying to decrease the temperature of the filament. Let's say by reducing the temperature, I'll come to know that the temperature of the filament will be 1200 degrees Celsius. So in this particular case the filament will look darker. In this particular case the filament will look darker and the back end side will look brighter, the case number 2. So once again, this is not my kind of reading, this is not my requirement of the reading. If I'll find the reading as the case number 2, then I'll come to know that the particular filament having the temperature which is lower than the heat source, then I'll again start decreasing the resistance and I'll try to increase the temperature. And in the case number 3, let's say if we are achieve the temperature 1400 degrees Celsius, then there is no change in the intensity of the filament and the intensity of the heat source. It means whatever the intensity has been generated on the back end side, the same intensity will be generated on the front end side. We are not supposed to find the change in the filament, we are not supposed to detect the filament as well. So this is the case of optical pyrometer, and once I'll achieve this particular case, I'll achieve this particular reading in the case number 3, then I can say that whatever the temperature of the filament has been generated, the same temperature has been maintained over the heat source. So what we are supposed to do, we are simply finding the value of resistance, we are simply finding the value of voltage supply, EMF, and then we are going to calculate the temperature provided to the filament, and whatever the temperature provided to the filament, we are simply accepting the temperature as the same temperature of the heating source. So guys, this is the basic case of the optical pyrometer. The figure shows the different cases for the filament and back end side heating source. Here the case number 1, 2 and 3, we have discussed all 3 cases in the detail. So guys, over here we are winding our lecture. What we have discussed today, we have started with the RTD, resistance temperature detector, and then we have completed our chapter with the optical pyrometer. I hope you are properly cleared about the chapter. Do remember, as per the academic approach as well as per the industrial approach, this chapter is very much useful because we are going to measure such parameter which is directly effect over the mechanical system, which is directly effect over the mechanical assembly line. So we have to more focused about such parameter, like we have to measure the force, torque, pressure, strain and temperature. These are the very basic parameters which is very much useful, which is very much effective over the mechanical industries. So provide your more concentration over these topics as well as give your best to the subject, because this subject will leads to the quality engineer. You are supposed to find your job profile as a quality engineer after completing this particular subject. So I hope you are I hope you have cleared all the topics which we have discussed till today in this particular lecture series properly. If you find any sort of the query, you can contact me. Till then, thank you.